Hey guys, it's Greg. In this video I want to show you another prototype of the game. This time it's a resource management Euro style game. It's titled Starship Interstellar, and its story in the game, what's happening in the game is that mankind developed some kind of technology allowing them to extract minerals from the sun, and because of that, sun started to becoming a red dwarf and started to devouring our solar system. So the goal of the game is to save humanity, to save mankind by building that ginormous starship and escape a solar system. So that's the more or less story behind the game, and now I would like to show you components and a few mechanics. What you can expect from this title. As I said, it's a prototype, rather rough prototype. I don't know how the components will look like in the end, but I have what I have, so I'm gonna show you what we got. Right, so here it is, it's Interstellar. The map is ginormous. It's two halves together, put one after next to each other. So I think it's even bigger than in Star Wars Rebellion, I think, or maybe the same size, something like this. And what areas we have on the map? Of course, we have our solar system with the planets. I guess we can put our planets on different places on their orbits. So here is the solar system. Here we have each of the planets in our solar system except Earth, because we can go to those planets to get resources. Now over there we have that track showing and being a counter till the end of the game when sun will devour Earth. So that's when this small cube, I mean in this prototype, cube will go to the center of this spiral, and the game ends. We have those exclamation marks. I think those exclamation marks are for launching events, and we have the stack of events over here. And everything in here is shown using different type of icons, so there's no texts. Right, so we have events over here, and next track is right on the right hand side, and it's Trappist system. So in here we are going to try to discover that Trappist system, I guess the place where mankind is going to live after destroying the Earth. Below we have marketplace, where we are going to trade our resources. And so what else? Here on this place in the corner, here we have those tokens which are connected with, are used to build our gigantic, super powerful spaceship. And again, as you can see, it's a prototype, so those are just simple pieces of paper, but this is our spaceship that we are trying to build, more or less. Let me show you. Yeah, so we have few parts, and on the back of those sheets we have those places on the tokens. And for example, player needs to spend blue resource to add one token over here. And in two-player games, you need to put 6 of those tokens in here to finish this part of the spaceship. Of course, I've shown you the easiest one, but we have more difficult challenges on those tokens. Those are the basic one, the first tokens in the game, because its game is set up for the first round of the game. And we have few of those elements. Each player who finishes one part of the spaceship can be a governor of this part of the spaceship. So players can put their governors over here. Another thing is we have tracks below over here. So here we have a track tracks connected to two phases of the game: action phase and salvation phase. So in here we have just order of the actions performed by the players, and above are also extra 2 tracks, allowing players to gain more points or unlocking new scientists that players use. And those scientists also can be sent on this track over here. So this is government track. Players can send their scientists to the government, so they can use them in 2 different ways. If one, they can get specific bonuses, but if their scientist is in the right place, that scientist can be promoted to be a governor of the finished part of the ship. So here we have actually 2 quite different mechanics, but connected to each other. Depending, you can decide to get bigger bonus, but at the same time your scientist will not be considered as a new governor, or you can just send him to get a very low bonus, but you will have higher chances to be a governor in the future. So next element in here is this graph of planet Earth, and those maples, colorful maples. Those colors have purpose. So if you want to rescue the blue human, you need to spend blue resources. So that's those colors also represents resources that you can gather during the game. What's gonna happen with the maples? They are transferred to this hibernation pods over here, and depending on how many players is playing, right number of pods must be filled to launch end of the game, trigger end of the game. That's it, because we have different ways to trigger end of the game. And for 2-player games, you need to fulfill you need to fill 3 rows of this cryo chamber, or whatever what. So this is, and finally we have reputation. So in here you can gain reputation, and of course gain more victory points, or you can lose reputation, and losing reputation is connected with gathering resources from the sun. Because you can get resources from 2 sources. First of all, you can go to different planets and get resources from there, but you can also try to use this super new technology that is bringing destruction to our solar system, and you can gather resources from the sun. But if you are using this forbidden technology, you are losing your reputation, and you are bringing destruction of the Earth closer and faster. So this is the main board, very big, a lot of elements, and now each player gets also their own sheet. So the game is for 2 to 4 players, and in the game we have 4 factions, let's say, because in the end we have 3 countries. We have China, we have Russia and United States, and also we have European Union. So those 4 factions, each with their own player board. In here we have different type of technologies that you can develop, so they're over here, and on the other side there are also the technologies, but working a little bit different, because this one need to be purchased in the right order. So firstly you need to have level 1, then level 2, then level 3, and those are a little bit different. In the game we have a lot of iconography. In the end, I think it's language independent, because everything is with icons and with cubes, and that's it. So those small things like reputation and end of the turn are the only texts that you can find during the game. So this is another one, and finally what each player gets are those tokens. So again, I want to say that's a prototype, so that's why it looks like this. And those tokens are actions that each player can perform. So if you are going to, when there's your turn, you can perform one of those actions that are printed on your token. If this token has this symbol of infinity, that means that this action can be repeated. So for example, I've played this action, the action to get resources from the sun, then another, and this token is without this infinity symbol, so that's only one time use. But then I can use this token. I think it's for developing new technologies. So I'm playing this token. I am developing one of my technologies, and then when there's another round, I can do this action again without not playing another token. Just I can repeat the last token I've played until I decide to go on and play another token. For example, this to get 4 fuel. So those are the tokens, and now what else we can have here? So maybe a little bit about mechanics. So the game is split into 3 phases. We have action phase, we have salvation phase, and we have upkeep phase, named in here I think government phase. What players are going to do in their main phase? As I said, we have those tokens representing our actions and what actions we can perform. So first of all, as I showed you, we have this specific token to gather resources from the sun each time when you're doing this. What is, very important element in that those colorful cubes and colorful maples represent different resources, and each of these resources costs is more or less valuable. The purple one are the most valuable, and let's say those red cubes are the cheapest ones. So if a player is going to use his or her action to gather resources from the sun, and that player is randomly choosing cubes from the back, if this player decides to take the most valuable resource, the purple one, which costs 5, on the solar exploitation track, you need to move this cube 5 spaces to the right, and depending on how many players is playing, the finish line is on a different place. So for 2 players, gathering only one purple resource, which costs 5, will trigger this cube on this spiral track, bringing the destruction of the solar system one step closer. Because each time when this track is finished, you need to move your cube on the spiral by 1, and each time when the cube finishes its movement on an exclamation mark, something bad gonna happen. So this is one action that you can perform. Second action, what you can do, as I said, it's developing your technologies. So again, as I said, you need to spend right resources to get access to different technologies. I'm not gonna tell what they're doing. Everything is in appendix of the rulebook. Another thing, what you can do is you can produce. So, for example, to launch production on some kind of planet, you need to first of all be on this planet and have a factory over there. When you do this, so for example, when you go to Venus, you can get one of those tiles from Venus, and on each of these tiles, as you can see, we have information what kind of resources can be produced. So green, yellow or red. So when you're going there, you're just drawing one of those tiles, and you can see what kind of resources you can get over here. And when you get this tile from this planet, then it goes to your supply as an action token. So you can play this token to produce yellow resources on a Venus. So that's another thing. Another one is travels. Travel is represented by this token, and travel is quite interesting mechanic, because to travel you need to spend fuel, and of course everything is starting on Earth because that's our base. And now, depending on which planet you want to go, you need to spend different amounts of fuel, and it's of course connected with quadrant and distance. So first of all, you need to spend one fuel just to leave the orbit of the planet to conquer the gravity. So that's one. Next point of fuel you need to spend because every time when you're passing orbit of the planet. So here is orbit of the Earth. If you want to go over here, that's already 2 fuel, one for leaving the Earth and second one for changing the orbit, and 1 fuel for changing a quadrant. So going to Jupiter, let's say, would cost, for example, 1 to leave Earth. Then we are going here, that's 2 because that's another quadrant, and then we need to calculate 3, 4, 5. We need to spend 5 fuel to go to Jupiter and build a base over here or over there or whatever. So that's travel. And final basic action are those is just market. So you can trade resources that you get with resources that are available on the market. So that's action phase, and then we can start salvation phase. So in salvation phase you can perform different actions, completely different actions, and those actions, so each of those action tokens, they has the other side, and you can use this other side to perform actions in salvation phase. In salvation phase you can build a machinery for the interstellar spaceship. So this is just adding another element to this sheet to build this interstellar starship, and that's why those colorful tokens over here, those tokens has different color because you need to spend yellow resource or red resource to build this part of this interstellar ship. So this is one thing that you can perform in salvation phase. Another action that you can perform is providing members to the government. So you can send your scientists to the government, and one of those guys will be a governor of the built super spaceship at the end. Another thing what you can do is just saving members of mankind. So as I already told you, you can save guys from the planet and put them in the cryo chambers by paying, of course, the right cost with resources. So for saving this purple guy, you need to spend 1 purple cube, which is the most expensive one. And another thing what you can perform is that satellite exploration. It's over there. So this is the race to that Trappist system. Who is first over there gets 10 prestige points, which are in the end victory points. And that's it. At the end, we have that upkeep phase where things are going. You need to clean things. You are revealing new events and so on and so on. And one of the guys from the planet are just saved, and that's it. And the game goes like this until solar system is just destroyed. So that's Interstellar. Starship Interstellar. As you can see, it's rather complex. As you can see, we don't have any dice. Everything is built around those tokens. That's not all of them. Players can also get more of them. So it's not like you have only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 actions plus the production on the different planets. It's not like this. There's more tokens that you can get, and also production is a little bit more complex than just using this token to produce something on the Mars. Because again, on the Mars you have first of all storage, then you need to have space to those resources. So it's not so easy. It's more complex element, adding more depth to the strategy and to way you're gonna play this game. So that's it. That's Starship Interstellar. I think the theme of the game, the moments when those things are happening, are very interesting. Especially that's not a fiction. I mean, maybe not getting resources from the Earth, but in the end, planet will be devoured by Earth, by the sun. So it's quite interesting and a little bit scary that it's a little bit of the truth in this game. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you like the idea of Starship Interstellar, if you're interested in the Euro games in a space, I think that's a title that is worth following. Thank you so much for watching this video and see you in the next one.